How did this young boy go from talking about bar mitzvah
And then I make a speech and suddenly I become a man.
to fighting off a giant supernatural clown? Yikes, this one has a lot. And I mean a lot of brutal deaths. That's right. Today I'll be telling you the entire story of It so far, which includes the first two movies that happened before this current spin-off series that's airing right about now. So if you want to watch this nightmare fuel called Welcome to Derry, this is the video you need to get as a refresher on all the initial stuff. Now strap in and promise you'll be brave, because this is going to be scary as... The first movie takes us to October 1988 in the little town of Derry, Maine. It's a rainy day, and we meet this really cute little boy named Georgie and his big brother Bill, and they're making a paper boat together. Oh, that's so sweet. Bill has a stuttering problem and is kind of sick, but he asks Georgie to go down the street with the paper boat and make it float. Georgie doesn't want to go out alone, but Bill asks him not to be a wuss. Well, all right then. So naturally, Georgie goes down and starts rowing his boat along the watery road. But he doesn't keep up with the boat long enough and watches it go down into the sewer. When he tries to see where his boat went, he meets this creepy clown with a god-awful smile. The clown introduces himself as Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Georgie, meet Pennywise.
And then sweet talks Georgie. He asks Georgie to come closer and take the boat. Then the clown bites the boy's hand off before pulling him into the sewer. Jeez. Now a year later, in June 1989, we meet Mike, a young boy working on a farm. We then also meet Richie, Eddie, and Stanley, Bill's friends, who are extremely excited for the summer break. And then comes along Beverly Marsh, who gets bullied by some girls in the washroom. Meanwhile, outside the school, Bill and his group bump into this bully called Henry and his scumbag friends. At the same time, Beverly meets a new kid, Ben. She takes out the yearbook from his bag and gives him an autograph after talking for a bit. Ben develops an instant crush on Beverly, because why not? Wait, hold on a second, let me get a head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Damn, that's a lot of kids. Cut to later, Bill doesn't believe that his brother is dead, so he tries to convince his dad that his little brother might be in the Barrens, but Daddy doesn't listen. Next, we see Mike going to work, where he hallucinates several burnt hands. He sees the wretched clown as well. Later, Stanley sees a painting of a creepy woman in his father's office, and watches the same woman standing in front of him the next moment. So, it seems like something really shady is going on with these kids. At the same time, Bill, Richie, Eddie, and Stan are planning on visiting the sewers. Why? It's simple. Bill isn't ready to give up on his brother. Meanwhile, Ben, who, by the way, still doesn't have any friends, is sitting in the library reading books. He reads about Derry's history when a red balloon appears in the library out of nowhere. What the hell is going on? Ben follows it and finds an Easter egg kept on the floor. Then he sees another one kept at a distance. He soon then reaches the basement of the library and watches a burnt body without a head coming towards him. Yeah, I don't know why they follow this shady stuff in horror movies. So anyway, seeing this beautiful sight, Ben starts running at top speed. And it's at that moment that the freaky clown Pennywise starts chasing our little dude here. However, the librarian shows up to save the day. Phew. On his way back home, Ben gets caught by Henry and his goons. These stupid boys torture Ben until he kicks Henry and falls from a bridge. While Henry and the gang chase Ben, the kid runs and reaches the Barrens, where he meets Bill and the group. You see, the Barrens is their usual hangout spot. So, anyway, as that happens, Patrick, one of Henry's idiot friends, searches for Ben in the sewer, and he is killed by none other than Pennywise. Oh boy, you so deserved that. Meanwhile, Bill and the boys take Ben along, and they go to a medical store, where Beverly helps them buy the supplies, because clearly they don't have enough cash. Beverly then returns home, where she meets her father. Yeah, her daddy kinda sucks. So the girl joins her newly made friends at the quarry instead, and has a great time swimming and chilling, and it all takes a dark turn when Ben tells them that he has never been to a town like Derry before. He then says that when he didn't have a single friend, he used to spend time at the library, so he kinda knows the town's twisted past.
It turns out people die or disappear 6 times the national average. And that's just grown-ups. Kids are worse.
Ben then invites his friends to his home and tells them about how Derry was founded and how the founders mysteriously disappeared without a trace. Meanwhile, all the kids continue to see visions. Eddie sees a rotting homeless man and Pennywise in an abandoned house on Neibolt Street. Beverly almost gets killed in her bathroom, and suddenly the place is soaked in blood. Wait, but her dad can't see it, and he can't see that the walls and floor are all painted red.
The blood, it's...
What blood?
Bill, on the other hand, sees Georgie in his basement and is then chased by Pennywise. And the next day, Beverly calls the boy gang to her house and shows them her bathroom. And guess what? They also can't see anything unusual, but they still help Beverly clean her bathroom. That's super sweet of them. Anyway, on their way back home, the gang saves Mike from Henry and his goons. And now Mike officially joins the group. They find out that Pennywise isn't a random monster either. He returns to the town every 27 years to take the kids. The Losers Club, yeah, that's what these people call themselves. I really forgot to tell you that, I guess. But they all come to one conclusion. Whatever this thing is, it's feeding on everyone's fear. The gang goes to the clubhouse and sets up the projector to see the map of Derry. They learn that it's all connected to the abandoned house on Neibolt Street. At the same time, Pennywise comes out of the projector screen and scares the hell out of everybody. Man, I just hate jump scares. Moving on, while everyone gets terrified, Bill decides to confront Pennywise in Neibolt so he can find his brother. The rest of the kids join too, and they walk into the abandoned house together. The kids think that they are stronger together, but Pennywise uses tricks to separate them. The clown chooses Eddie as his first victim, and he gets this close to killing the boy. However, Bill and Richie arrive right on time to save their friend. At the same time, Beverly stabs the clown with an iron rod. Damn! But, well, it doesn't do much damage, and the clown injures Ben before heading back into the well. Well, that's the end of that, I guess. A few weeks pass, and we see Henry, who, well, gets bullied by his father in front of his friends.
Look at him now, boys. Ain't nothing like a little fear to make a paper man crumble.
Yeah, this father dude sucks. Big time. Anywho, Pennywise uses Henry's fear to make him kill his father while the man is sleeping. Classic. On the other hand, Beverly's father tries to harass her, but this time she fights back and knocks him out cold. But right then, Pennywise arrives and captures her. Wait, what the what? After that, Bill goes to Beverly's house to meet her, and there he sees Beverly's father bleeding. Yeah, the dude's clearly dead. Bill then also gets a message from Pennywise. Bill rushes to tell his friends about Beverly, and everyone gets back to the well house to save her. And this time, they climb down the well, where Beverly is lying unconscious. Jeez, this looks like a trap for sure. Beverly wakes up and gets terrified seeing all the missing children floating in the air. Then Pennywise makes a flashy entrance to feed on Beverly's fear, and makes her float as well. At the same time, Henry arrives at the scene and fights Mike. But eventually Mike wins and pushes Henry into the well. Done and dusted. Now, while Ben wakes up Beverly by kissing her, insanely cute moment by the way, Bill sees Georgie and runs after him. Bill knows very well that his brother is dead, and Pennywise is making him see his brother. So Bill kills Georgie, or at least the illusion of him. It turns out Bill was right, and it was indeed Pennywise in disguise. Bill then tries to shoot the clown as well, which makes him super duper pissed. So the clown grabs Bill and promises to spare everyone else if they just leave. But the kids aren't afraid anymore, which makes them really weak. The clown even uses everyone's fear against them, but nothing works. Eventually, the kids defeat Pennywise, and his body disintegrates before he falls deep into the well.
Fear.
Yep. That's it for that wretched clown. Or is it?
I'm back, baby!
Anyway, a few months pass, and the kids get together to take an oath that they'll all return to Derry if it returns, and they decide to go their separate ways. But not before Bill confesses his feelings to Beverly. Huh? The next chapter takes off 27 years later. We meet Adrian Mellon and his boyfriend Don Haggerty, who are having a great time at the local carnival festival. But it turns to really soon when a bully gang beats them like animals. What is it with these bullies, I tell ya? They even throw Adrian into the river, And when Don reaches the river to see if his lover is fine, he sees Pennywise eating off Adrian's flesh. Yes, he, or shall I say it, is back. Mike, yep, that Mike, still lives in Derry, so he's the first to hear about the tragedy, and without any delay he rushes to the location and learns that it has returned. There's a message on the wall too that says, "Come home," which means that this time, Pennywise is looking for revenge. The main crew of Derry is grown up now, and they're leading their lives with their respective life partners. Bill has become a screenwriter, Ben is a very successful architect, Eddie is a risk analyst, whatever that means, and Richie, of course, is a stand-up comedian. Stanley, meanwhile, has become the partner in an accounting firm. After the tragedy, Mike calls all of them to ask them to come home to fight it once more. Most of them have trouble recalling their time in Derry, but when Stanley does remember everything, he commits suicide. Yikes, that was a bit of an overreaction. Then that kind of caught me off guard. We also then meet Beverly, who's a fashion designer and living with an abusive husband. Oh man. He stops Beverly from leaving the house, but she fights off the man and leaves. After that, a flashback shows that after returning from the sewers, Henry was captured by the police because, he killed his asshole father. And of course, the entire experience messes with his head, so he ends up in a mental hospital. Damn, that's depressing. Anyway, in the present day, the clown once again targets Henry and gets into his head to make him a puppet. Oh man, you stupid idiot. You had that coming though. Later, Pennywise appears as a zombified Patrick. Yes, his friend who died in the sewers. And he gives a knife to Henry. Meanwhile, all the members of the Losers Club meet at a Chinese restaurant. They talk and they make fun of each other, and slowly they start remembering. They recall their confrontation with it. Mike tells them that the farther they go from Derry, the blurrier their memory becomes. He then also says that he never left, and because of that, he never forgot what happened 27 years ago. Mike tells them about Pennywise's return and all the recent deaths in town. The reunion gets dark when they all learn about Stanley's death through fortune cookies. Yikes! Later, weird creatures start coming out of the fortune cookies to scare them even more, so they all walk outside, and on the way, Richie is approached by a kid named Dean. Richie kind of mistakes Dean for it, but he turns out to be a normal kid who's just a fan of Richie. Beverly immediately calls Stanley's wife and learns that he was found dead in the bathtub. Bev reacts as if she already knew that Stan was dead. Like, what the heck, man? Anyway, Ben notices Bev's reaction and everyone else is also scared. So they decide to leave, except for good old Bill, of course. Later, at a baseball match, we see Victoria, who first appeared in the carnival when Adrian gave her a soft toy. Remember? Well, that poor little girl falls prey to Pennywise, too. Meanwhile, her mother is so into the match that she doesn't even notice that her daughter isn't sitting beside her. Oh, damn it. Meanwhile, back at the mental hospital, Henry kills a staff member and escapes the facility with the zombie version of Patrick. Yikes. After that, Ben, Beverly, Eddie, and Richie arrive at the Derry townhouse, and Ben confronts her for how she reacted while talking to Stan's wife. Beverly tells Ben that she saw them all die in her vision.
We've seen all of us die.
Meanwhile, Mike makes Bill watch weird visions by drugging him with some sacred root called maturin. After that, he tells Bill about the Native American tribe Shokopiwa, the first people to fight against it. Bill also learned about the monster's birth and how it can be killed. Jeez. He also sees the tribal ritual, the ritual of Chud, that must be performed to kill Pennywise once and for all. After that, Bill decides to stay in Derry and fight it. Beverly tells Ben, Eddie, and Richie that she has been getting these nightmares since her last time in Derry. Later, Bill and Mike arrive to tell them that Beverly was the one that got caught by the deadlights in the sewer, so that's why she's been getting these nightmares. Mike then reveals about the ritual of Chud, and the gang learns that if they don't kill Pennywise this time, all of them will die painful deaths. So they agree to stay there and face Pennywise. But Mike tells them that they can't do anything without remembering everything. So he takes them all to the Barrens and their old clubhouse, where we also meet younger versions of these characters through a flashback. And later, Mike informs them that they must bring some of their artifacts to sacrifice them for the ritual. After that, Beverly goes to the apartment where she lived with her father and meets a little old lady there and introduces herself as Mrs. Kirsch. Beverly finds the letter Ben gave her when they were young. The old woman soon reveals herself to be a ghost. What the what? Later, while trying to open the main door, Beverly sees It, who mocks her for not being able to save her friends. Back at the Derry townhouse, Bill finds a message from Pennywise, and he doesn't take much time to realize that Dean is in danger. After he leaves for the local fest, Henry shows up and stabs Eddie's cheek with a knife. But Eddie takes out the knife from his cheek and stabs Henry in the chest. But still, Henry doesn't die. In fact, he jumps out the window and takes out the knife, just like it's another Tuesday. Yeesh. Meanwhile, Bill reaches the location, but before he can save Dean, Pennywise appears and kills the boy. Damn you, evil clown. Back at the library, Henry charges at Mike, and our boy tries very hard to win the fight, but Henry overpowers him, and right about when he is about to kill Mike, Richie stabs the racist bastard in the head. Yep, he's a comedian and a hero. Anyway, before anyone could accept the fact that Richie killed a guy, Bill tells them he's going to kill Pennywise, all alone. He doesn't want his friends to get killed, but the ritual needs all of them. So everyone follows Bill to the well house, and they decide to do this one more time, together.
Let's kill this clown.
You said it, Richie. Anywho, the group enters the house and gets split. On one hand, Pennywise tortures Ben by writing "Home at Last" on his stomach with a knife. On the other hand, Bill, Richie, and Eddie see a zombified version of Stanley's head. The head then grows spider legs and terrorizes everyone around until Bill stabs the frick out of this anomaly. The group climbs down the well and arrives at the same place where they once defeated Pennywise. The clown, of course, plays his dirty tricks to scare everyone. So they all rush to perform the ritual. Mike opens the crypt that is part of the ritual, and they climb down. There they find the exact place where It stays hidden. It turns out this place is right under Derry. Yikes. Mike points out that It can only be attacked in its true form, which is light. Moving on, Mike lights the fire, and every member throws in their artifacts to burn. That's when the group sees the deadlights approaching them, and they keep on performing the ritual, but guess what? It does no good, and Pennywise arrives on the spot. Not worried a bit about the ritual, might I add. It turns out Mike lied about the ritual to his friends. The first people to perform the ritual were killed by It, and Mike hid this fact from his friends. What the hell, Mike? Mike thinks that they have to believe in the ritual for it to work, but that's clearly a long shot. Now, Pennywise takes his giant form and attacks everyone. The gang barely survives Pennywise's attacks and his dirty tricks, and Richie then confronts the clown head-on, thinking it won't be able to do anything since he's not afraid, but It opens its mouth and makes Richie float by showing him the deadlights. Unfortunately, the same trick won't work twice, Richie. Anyway, Richie gets close to getting killed, so Eddie decides to give one last shot to Mike's strategy. He believes that the weapon in his hand can kill monsters, so he throws it at Pennywise, which, well, injures him. The clown is furious, so he stabs Eddie in the chest, which makes every member of the gang really, really angry. They plan to make Pennywise shrink in size by forcing him into the tunnel, and when it doesn't work, they decide to make him feel small by, well, trash talking. Surprisingly, this trick works, and Pennywise shrinks down to the size of a toddler. Then Mike pulls out its beating heart, and together, every member of the gang crushes it. The victory doesn't come without sacrifice, though, as Eddie dies right on the spot. The entire place then begins to fall apart, and they all escape the well house. A few weeks later, Bill and everyone else gets a letter from Stanley that he had written before committing suicide. The letter says that Stan gave up on his life to unite his friends against this threat. Oh, and yes, Ben and Beverly are together. So I guess that's a happy ending, for now. Alright guys, this brings us to the end of the video. Now, you can go ahead and watch Welcome to Derry on HBO Max, but if you'd really like to stick around, there are other great recap videos on the channel, and you'll see some of them displayed here on the screen, right about now. Anywho, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all those other awesome things you people do. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.